So Maxwell, creator of Fits, and how you doing?
Good, bro.
What's your go-to fit when you you try to pop out at a show, an event, whatever? What are you going to? What you gonna wear?
I like the Basquiat jeans. These are created by Robinson Brown. Rob's my co-founder, and this is the first thing that ever dropped on Fits. Yeah. I would have the Visions on too, but I lost 2 pairs of those outside. Yeah, when you're out in the club, people pull them off your face.
You be going out.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I feel like basketball for me is dictated my life and how I view a lot of things. I associate a lot with basketball. So I think it's impacted you and your life.
You gotta punch above your weight, right? So when I was 6, I became a quarterback. And that was a lot at the time.
Me too.
Starting as a sophomore on varsity, even being a CEO at 19 at the time. So a lot of times you just gotta punch above your weight and embrace it. Bro, some high school kids gave it to me. It's I don't hoop anymore, but I still think I'm nice.
Yeah.
So it's it's a whole battle of yo, you used to be able to move like this, but you just can't do that no more. So basketball not my thing no more. I'm retired.
How do I say this? Any special lady, trying to keep you going,
I wish. I think I need that right now. They're gonna take up time out of my day, they have to earn that. So
what do you think the point of working so hard is? Because again, do you enjoy every day, or are you kind of sacrificing parts of your life right now to get a better future? Because a lot of people be you could die tomorrow. So are you enjoying your time right now? It's why work so hard?
I feel like we're all mortal, and so like you said, if you're gonna die tomorrow or something like that, I want to leave as much creations that are gonna be timeless as possible. So every video, every type of feature that I add to my business, just every little thing that impacts any type of person, whatever we can create that will be here when we're gone, I'm kind of at a rush to do that. So
you kind of remind me of Ty Lopez sometimes. And if you could sell a course on anything, right? What would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. A lot of creatives don't have a lot of business acumen. And so I think I want to set up a creator playbook that kind of teaches them how to start their own bank account, how to incorporate their company, and how to start building out their brand from a business side of things.
Welcome back to the Time Millionaire podcast. My name is Jim.
My name is Taha.
And today we have Maxwell.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
CEO of Fits. Right? That's you.
Maxwell Murray, CEO of Fits.
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
First, before we get into anything, right, I want to say I messed with this for a lot. I messed with it a lot. Yeah, I didn't know that was Basquiat. I'm sorry, but cool. It's hard. I like the embroidery on the jeans. We'll zoom in on it later, but give us what do these jeans mean to you? Because obviously they mean something.
Yeah, these mean everything to me. So Robinson created these a year ago today. And essentially this was the first pair of clothing to drop on Fits. We launched our whole company with these pair of jeans. And so, they mean everything. It's from my mans, and it's also kind of reminds me of where we started. So I try to do a little thing where I've been wanting to get more into crazier pants, but chill tops. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
That's hard. And I wanted to, before we get into Fits, right, I just want to see what do you see what do you think the current state of fashion is right now, right? I think a lot of people been trying to wear crazy fits and crazy shit a lot. I've been seeing a lot of
they were trying to be misunderstood.
Yeah, everybody wanted to just be wild, right? And some people are pulling it off. What do you think the line is between being super creative and just throwing random shit together and hoping people like it?
I mean, I just think you gotta ride your own wave, right? And so, I live out in New York, so a lot of people just wear anything. And so you kind of gotta find your lane. And so for me, I don't like branded shirts. I don't like a lot of stuff on my shirt. So I like calm shirts. But then it's I want to, talk. I want to put that message down. So that's kind of why I want to move into the pants shirt thing. So I don't know. I just think baggier is a little more in now. I've been seeing these jeans. When I first put them on, they were baggy, and I was yo, this is kind of crazy. He's nah, baggy is where it's at. So we're doing. But I don't know. We'll see where things are going soon.
Okay, and how there's a sliding scale between style and comfort, obviously. So wearing that diagram or paradigm do you fit? Do you like being more comfortable or more stylish?
I'm definitely more towards comfort. Like okay. I'm really relaxed, chill with my fits. But like, I'm trying to see kind of where I want to go with this, because I realized that the other day I was like in a little bummy fit at the Target, like walking to Target, and I seen someone from my school, and I was thinking like, yo, I can't be walking around in a bummy fit and running a fashion platform. Like, I gotta get my stuff together. So,
cause I was gonna say that because it's like, even for me, like I'll wear sweats like a lot, and everybody started knowing I was just wearing sweats all the time. So when I wore jeans, people were like, "Ty, you wearing jeans?" Like they used to like kind of fry me a little bit. But like now, I'm like, even if I want to always be like presentable in a way. It's like I don't want people to just see me in like some gray sweats with a hole in them somewhere. And
a hole is crazy.
Like you gotta like at least look put together,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I just kind of say like, so you're saying baggies, and now like, where do you think fashion is going in the future?
I don't know. I think we're gonna have. I think the day of the big brands is going away, and so us the idea of people saving up all their money to go buy a Gucci shirt or a Mary shirt, like that's gone, and so it's really gonna go in the hands of the underground designers that are today. I work with a lot of designers that make one of ones, handmade pieces, cut and sew items. And I definitely think that that's where we're gonna head. Like we're gonna be in a spot where you can name fashion designers the way you can name musicians. We're not there right now.
And what do you think's like the next step in getting them to be that noticed?
I think it's fits. That's why we created fits in the first place. Like there is. Like for me personally, I think of everything as the consumer. So I work with a lot of designers, but I always tell them like I come from a consumer point of view, and as a consumer, like I wasn't relating to big brands. Like that luxury style wasn't really for me, and so we kind of got into a place where I met so many designers, so many creatives that hadn't really had the ability to put their stuff out there like that, and so. I definitely think like that's where we're going. We're going to a place where you're going to be able to locate designers a lot easier. You're going to be able to find people that make clothes that resonate with you a lot easier. And you're going to be less inclined to follow the status quo and wear everything that, other people wear. You're going to be able to stay in your own lane more because with technology right now, we can find those people.
Right. Okay. And have you always been into like fashion? Like when did it start?
So I actually created a clothing brand with my friends junior year of high school. And that was my first business ever.
You did the same thing.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. But,
you and Avery, right?
Yeah. I look back at it. I didn't like it too much, but I think it's good to like always start like somewhere. I think that's the problem. A lot of people like don't want to start because this is something I think Mark told me. He was like, if you look back at your first thing and like you think it was good, you started too late. And like. Yeah,
I love that. Okay. And there's this big
Mark
quote.
Said that?
That's facts. That's facts. There's this big quote from Reid Hoffman. He's the founder of LinkedIn, and he goes like, "If you're not embarrassed by your first product, you launch too late." And like for me, that was a hard thing for me to get over because like when I made Fits, like Fits was supposed to be an app, and we had to like when you want to build an app or you want to build a company, you got to start by building an MVP. An MVP is like a minimal viable product. It's the quickest thing you can get to launch. So we built a website where people could buy and sell clothes. It was the first thing. Yeah. So like for me, I'm like, man, I had this big vision of like everything we wanted to do. I was kind of embarrassed a little bit by our first product, but I learned that like that's just part of the process. And so you're completely right when it comes to like, if it looks too clean, you launch too late. Yeah. You gotta there's beauty in imperfection. You know what I mean? So there's a starting place to everything. But yeah, for me, I made my own brand. We made our brand in junior year of high school, and my first shirts were called the Power Struggle shirts. Power Struggle shirts were to raise awareness and empower people to overcome their power struggle, whether that's your race, your gender, your income growing up. And so it's mad interesting because I never knew how much that would play an impact on the rest of my life. Yeah. But obviously, like the power struggle movement is a thing now. So like, exactly. Yeah. I never thought we were gonna get back to here. But it all like everything that you do adds up, whether you know it or not. every different path, even if you fall far off path, like it's perfect. Like you're gonna make your way back. You're gonna make your way back to center.
It's a cycle. It's literally, life is a cycle. If you just sit back and just watch, you notice that a bunch of the same thing happens over and over. Every single year, the same few things are gonna happen to you. And once you catch that drift, you just take off.
Yeah. So. And so I kind of wanted to like, I don't think we actually like allowed you to sit like, what is like, if you had to break down Fits, like it was very simply for somebody, like what is it? And like, what do you want it to like kind of encompass, like, the next 5 years?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Fits is a platform that supports and showcases fashion designers. So everything we do is to give people the freedom to create their world, right? And so where I think Fits is going to be in the future is fashion is where we started. And so I think that in the grand scheme of things, Fits is the place to start and grow your own personal brand. Whether that is a fashion designer, graphic designer, photographer, podcast host. It's going to be a platform for people who are wanting to create things. It's going to be a place for them. So
yeah, and I think you're a good example. Like you're a good person, like even follow in general, just because like we always said that you be pushing content like crazy, and you have now your content editing, like business. You got content. What was it?
Podcast dunks.
Yeah, your podcast dunks, right? It's like, but I kind of want to touch on like how you're able to push out video after video all the time, like
on a daily basis,
every day,
very consistent.
And like weird, like that's impressive as hell. Like most people can't do that. You're always like, because you got to find the clips, you got to edit everything, right? So like, but where did that like kind of hustle kind of come from in terms of like, like, and what's like that drive like keep you motivated? Because I know you also wake up at like 5 a.m. a lot, 5 a.m, 5 a.m.
Really?
5 a.m. club.
For
5:45.
For what?
5:45.
I mean, yeah, you about to go into about 5:45 in the morning.
Yeah, dude. All right, so this is crazy to me too, right? A year ago, like last July, Shane came over. Shane plays football at Alabama. He just transferred to USC. It's one of my best friends. Shane Lee.
Okay.
Yep. And we were talking for a while, and one thing that he gave me was the 5 a.m. club. And he said to me these words. He said, I prepare for every day like I prepare for every game. I hope this book helps. And I was like, yo, 5 a.m. club sounds ridiculous. That's so early, right?
Yeah.
But especially for me, like I was waking up at 10 every day.
Yeah.
My classes, I would even wake up later than that. So what happened was I read the book, and the book is basically about taking care of yourself before you take care of everyone or everything else. If you want to go be great, if you want to be legendary, a lot of us sit there and say that like we want to go be legendary. You got to do what 95% of people aren't doing. And so waking up at the crack of dawn and taking care of your morning routine gives you that time to take care of yourself before you go and take care of everything else. And I feel like I wouldn't be able to do anything like this if I wasn't having that routine, if I wasn't in the gym, if I wasn't doing that in the morning. Like that's the only way I'm able to be confident enough to put out like this.
And I think that's a good point, because so I feel like routine's important, has been important for me. But like, so during like I'm Muslim, right? So like during Ramadan, like I would wake up mad early just to pray. So we wake up like 4:45, 4:30, to like pray in the morning. And I would just not fall back asleep sometimes. Like I just stay up. Yeah. But like the amount of peace you get in the morning is crazy. Like, because nobody's up. You can really sit there with your thoughts and like really plan out your day. I think a lot of times people sit here and like you're always on the go. You're like, oh, I gotta be productive. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And at some point, like you just lose sight of everything, because like you're always on the move. You're always trying to like figure out what your next thing is instead of being present. Because I think I talked to Tamara's behind the camera over there, but like I talked to her about this yesterday, and it was like a lot of times you sit here and like ask for things and like work so hard to like get in certain things, and then once you get it, you just like disregard it and just go on to the next. You don't appreciate anything. You could have prayed for something for a whole year, and like you finally got it, and then like after a day, you're like, all right, next thing. But like you work so hard and like all that, and I feel like waking up early allows you to appreciate everything, because there's nothing around you to like real shit, because like
you do, because you have to,
fair.
Because like when that alarm goes off, you're sitting there in bed like, this is why I get up. Like you have to be like, because like no one wants to, you don't like, this is not something I want to do.
That's taking cold showers.
It takes discipline for
cold
sure.
Showers too. I take cold showers. Like, I don't like every morning. I take cold showers. I don't.
I'm not that wild.
I'm at the point.
You lost me, man.
I'm at the point where like I have to decide if I'm gonna take a cold or a warm shower. It's not like I don't go like that no more.
Nah.
Yeah.
But it's like it realistically it.
Right, that's a real like influencer. Like that's like, shit they be telling you to do.
Bro, the cold shower after the gym, like you want to get right, like you want to wake up. Bro, that cold shower is elite. Yeah, you go in there, you start huffing and puffing for the first little second, but then you're straight. Like it's really calm.
It's a mind game. Like it's really all it is.
Yeah. I don't want to play that mind game. But I do understand with the whole like what Todd was saying. Like you need to appreciate the journey a lot more than the destination. And a lot of people don't do that. We tend to hyperfixate on like, oh, I want to make a certain amount of money or I want to graduate. For example, very simple example. When people talk about graduating college, all they're worried about is I want to graduate college, but you never really sit back and enjoy the 4 years that you spent. And then once those 4 years are gone, it's gone. You're like, oh shoot, what happened? I made so many memories, and you don't remember what you did. Yeah. So you need to appreciate the journey before you appreciate the destination.
That's the most important part. Yes. That's the most important thing for anyone to take away. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, we all want to get to like this level. We all want to do this. We all have our own goals and dreams and ambitions, right? Mm-hmm. But like every day, like you have to live your best day. You know what I mean? Like, and so if you can't embrace the process over the destination, you'll never get there.
Oh yeah.
Like when you get comfortable in that process, when you get comfortable in those trenches, like every single like thing feels so amazing, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it just makes everything feel so great. Then you look up and you turn around and you see how far you've run. Like your head's been down. And like a lot of times you gotta have gratitude. What you were saying before, like you gotta have gratitude, bro. You gotta be grateful for how far you've come. You know what I mean? Stop being so stressed out about the future. Don't be held into the past. Stay present and have gratitude.
Bar, you're just reaching today, man.
Not real.
Just bar after bar.
And so there was just something. I want to actually talk about crypto a little bit. I know you were like trying to make a cryptocurrency, right? But before I do that, it was just one thing you alluded to off camera. It's like you were saying, like you don't really care about like. You don't care about school. Like, let's be blunt, right? Like you don't like it doesn't like matter to you because you know you're running a business, right? But like what like first of all, like just I just want to hear your thought process on it and like why you prioritize like your own business over school, because a lot of people have it the other way around. And then like two, like where did you like kind of get the courage to even do that in the first place? Because it's a scary thing. Everybody tells you got to get A's and get a job. Like, you know, I just want to break that down for us.
Yeah. Thanks for asking about this. This is interesting. So I think that a lot of times we think that people know what to do. Meaning like you could sit here and be like, oh, Elon Musk knows how to send us to Mars. The truth of the matter is we're giving these people too much benefit of the doubt. People don't know what to do. And that's the best part, right? So if you sit there in school and school is supposed to teach you what to do, like you don't know nothing when it's time to actually go and do it. So for me, I don't learn if I don't have to go do something. Accounting makes a lot more sense to me when I have to do my accounting for fits. I didn't know nothing about marketing at all, right? And so I sat there in marketing class for a whole semester and heard them talk about a bunch of nonsense. And I sat there after the semester and didn't know how to do nothing. And so you learn marketing by figuring out how to make content, figuring out how to edit those videos. Oh, I need a better hook. I need a better headline. Oh, these few parts of the video got to get chipped. Okay, call it story, problem, solution, call to action. Like you learn by doing things. So for me, I just think school is kind of, I don't want to call it a waste of time, but I pay $80,000 a year to go to school. Like I went to NYU.
Hold on.
Time out.
Oh, NYU was $80K?
Yeah.
You go to NYU?
I go to NYU. I spend $80,000 a year.
When I applied, it was like 65.
Okay, it's like 70, but you like pay like dorm, like you live, like you gotta live there, and like you know what I mean. And New York is expensive.
Yeah.
And so like for me, school is more about the people that I meet and the people that I'm around and having fun, you know, living in New York and meeting all these creative and fire people. But when it comes down to stuff in the classroom, like I sat there in an entrepreneur class and like, come on, bro.
Like you guys just do it.
We got to learn how to build businesses. You only can learn how to build a business by failing. See, a lot of times, a lot of people are scared to fail. The thing is, you will never learn if you don't just take off those floaties and drown.
Drowning is crazy, but yes.
Yeah,
I understand.
I'm sorry, but like, because I think about you saying like, okay, working a corporate job, right? I realized no, and but like I've seen like a lot of people who are in like high level positions. A lot of times their ideas and like what they know isn't too far off from what we know, because a lot of stuff is common sense. Like a lot of stuff is purely common sense, but like just because they have that like high standing, it's like what they say goes. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of like people who are younger who have really good ideas, and like I feel like they just don't get the platform to like express themselves and like say what they want. That could probably help the company a lot more, because a lot of these CEOs, they've been working on these head companies. They were working on that stuff when they were in like their 20s, 30s. Like they weren't 45-year-old executives like calling shots. Like no, they started when they were young because they had an idea. And so I kind of that's all I want to say on that. But yeah, good point.
But I do understand with the school thing, because I've always viewed it this way: like school is beneficial only if you're going into professional careers like medicine or law, like places where in order to learn, you have to learn, kind of like you have to read, because you can't know it. You can't diagnose somebody by just looking at them or by trial and error. So, or business in some cases. But like when it comes to creative ventures, like creating a company or being an entrepreneur, you can't really teach that. That's one of those things where you have to go out and learn as you go.
Yeah, like sales, you learn by hopping on the phone and selling.
Right.
Marketing, you learn by marketing your company.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that's how you learn, because then that's the only way you can live. Right. So that's kind of how I look at that. But
I also wanted to talk about like crypto, right? I know you're trying to implement like cryptocurrency in the fits a little bit. You're making your own coin, but like I'm a crypto nerd more so. Like I love all that shit. So I just want to know, like, what do you think about like the current state of crypto? Shut up. I don't know if you thought about the like current state of crypto right now, and like also how do you feel like crypto is going to help you in your business?
Yeah, thanks for asking that, because I wanted to touch on this. I've had a lot of feelings about the crypto downtrend, and I think it's because people don't know the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So Bitcoin is obviously digital gold, and it's not really attached to a lot of utility. Ethereum is all utility. It's all based on what we can do with these tokens. So essentially, the way I look at it, what we're seeing is Ethereum is a token, right? Is a platform. It's really a company that allows other companies like mine to build decentralized applications on top of it.
It's like a layer one, right? So like
it's
a layer one.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you build on top, right? But yeah, like all right,
yeah. So what I think about crypto is
talking about crypto,
and the reason why crypto is so important is because crypto is ownership, and us as Black people, like that ownership is something that has always been denied to our
what
ownership is something that was always denied to us. You know what I mean? Whether that's real estate, whether that's just a lot of ownership in our own work, ownership in your own music. You look at the music industry right now, and it's a $45 billion industry, even more, but only 12% of that money actually goes to the artists. They're not really owning their music. And so where the opportunity in crypto lies is the fact that the blockchain is a public ledger that proves ownership. Ownership is everything. And that's like when I talk to people about crypto, all I want them to take from it is that this technology that we are living in today and that we can build on top of gives us the ability to have ownership in our own work.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that was one thing. I think right now a lot of people look at crypto as like an investment, right? And I mean, it is like, I think it's a good thing to like, dabble in, especially for the future. But I think it's so early right now. I think that's where a lot of people get confused, because I think so many people want to like get money quickly, right? And they'll just kind of like just look at like, okay, like it went up a crazy amount, let me get in. but like I think you have to look at the application of it to understand like what it can truly be. Because like the .com, bubble, or like just in the past, like only a few companies kind of stick around forever. There's 1,000 crypto coins. There was 1,000 websites that came out, but only like now there's only like Amazon still around, and some of those other ones. There's only be like 3 to 4 crypto coins that come around. So you have to look at things in terms of like what they actually do. And there was like what Shaq said, like invest in things that actually make an impact on people. He doesn't look at like what's the money is right now or anything like that, because everything, none of them are like solidified companies really. Like it's what they can do and how they can make an impact. I think that's why you have to have like a long-term view on it. And so that's why I was like really excited to see you were like trying to make your own crypto coin and everything too. Cause I think I wanted to touch on it as a CEO, right? Your focus shouldn't at first be making money. I think that's what a lot of people like at the very initial beginning. I feel like you get to build a foundation. Mm-hmm. So like, how do you look at things long term too? Because I feel like if you just focus on the money up front, you're not going to do well.
Yeah. So you gotta build the future. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, what part of this is being willing to take big bets, and you're either going to be right or be wrong. And one bet that I decided to take a couple months ago was the fact that, okay, we live in a world today where a company like Uber, that's a marketplace. Fitz is a marketplace as well, right? And so when Uber started, they started back in California, and you could take an Uber to school, but the Uber drivers were getting paid in dollars. And so what happened was, as Uber got bigger and the network effects grew, the team, the founders, and the investors got rich, but the Uber drivers didn't have any ownership in the platform. And so for Fitz, we have a commission-based business model, right? And so I was trying to get manufacturers onto our Create platform, but $5,000 5% commission is a lot higher than a $100 5% commission. So I said, don't never go for this. Let me figure out what type of business model would work. So I stumble upon the token economy because of this simple fact, as if you are providing value, if you are able to provide value to a system, right? And you're able to drive network effects, you should be able to have ownership in that platform that you are creating on. We don't have any ownership of our Instagram posts, of TikTok, all of these things. We can't move our audiences from one platform to another. And so what crypto is going to be able to do is it's going to have us be able to own our community that we're building, have our community be able to own the platform that they're a part of as well. And so when all of us are able to own this system, the more people, the more value is in the system, the more valuable the token will be. Yeah. And so what I say like about NFTs in general is like, it's like a key, right? Say it's a key to a door. If there's nothing behind the door, then that key is worthless. Yeah. But if you have a lot of valuable things behind that door, then that key is very valuable. And so what people have to realize is a lot of these cryptocurrencies, a lot of the tokens that failed, it's because they're not tied to any value. Right. But if a token is the key to Fitz, if it's a key to access these fashion designers, or if it's a key to get graphics, photo shoots, all of this stuff, then that is what the value is. And so you got to figure out what your utility is. And that's all we're trying to do at Fitz. We're trying to figure out how we can make these tokens as valuable as possible, because we know that ownership is the future. And that's what crypto gives us the ability to bring.
That's real. That's why I like it. Amen. And, we're going to just move off that topic real quick. Because I remember when we had all talked on the phone before, right? And you kind of told us like how you post a lot, and like you don't care like what people say, like you don't care what they think about it. Like a lot of people get scared, like they don't want my engagements to go down. Like, oh, I don't want people to unfollow me. But like, what's your mindset on, like just not caring? Like like why you're not scared to just post a bunch and you don't care the reaction. You're just doing it. It's like just break that down for us.
Fear, right? Fear is the only thing that, you know, really prevents us from doing a lot of the things that we want to do, right?
So they're right here.
And so,
doubt. Exactly. It just says doubt kills
more dreams.
Yeah, then
doubt
failure
kills
everywhere.
More dreams.
Yeah, then failure everywhere.
I like that. And so for me, like, making content was a hard transition for me. I never knew to be an entrepreneur you had to be a content creator, right? But what was happening was I realized that I had a message that I really wanted to spread. And so someone I really look up to is John Henry. And he was giving this talk at Union Square, and he said, people think it's selfish to make content. I think it's selfish not to make content, because if you have that message, you can provide that message to other people. Then if you're holding that in, that is being selfish. And so for me, what I think is, like, every time I post, I feel like I'm helping somebody, right? So if I am not posting, then someone at that particular day is not receiving maybe a message that could really help them. One time I posted something else, like, oh, this is kind of a dub. It only has 400 views. Someone hit me up, was like, yo, I needed this today. Like, this happened in my life, and like I'm not feeling good. And like, when I seen that, it put everything into perspective. So I think when it comes down to anything, you have to redefine success, right? And so if success to you means that instead of success being, you know, hitting a video that has 11K views, if that's just posting the video, that's redefining success. And so for me, like, I realized a long time ago that, like, people are not supposed to understand you. Like, you got your own dreams, you got your own ambitions.
I like that, bro.
You should be a little crazy. And if you're not doing something that people think is a little bit crazy, then you're not really pushing yourself out there like that. And so for me, that's kind of how I think about it. Like, people aren't supposed to understand me. If people are like, yo, why is he doing this? That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Because, I mean, people who rise to the top are the ones who have, like, crazy visions and shit. So,
it's not even about having the visions. So, like,
you just need, like, there's something that I've noticed about, like, hyper successful people. Like, you need to have a certain, like, crazy something in your head that doesn't click right. Like, failure is just not an option in your head. Like, you can fail as many times as possible, but you just know that you're going to be successful eventually.
Well, you just use it as, when you fail, you got to be self-aware. Is it a loss or is it a lesson?
Exactly.
Right. And so if it's a lesson, then you can move accordingly. Right. And so, like, you can't be afraid to fail, though. Like, you have to, and one thing about me, no cap, is, like, I said this to myself the moment I took my first investment for Fitz. I said, yo, if I'm going to fail, I'm going to be a public failure. Like, I'm not going to fail all quiet, and, like, people are not going to know that I failed. They're going to be like, oh, he failed.
But at least, you know, people are, like, looking at what you did, and then what you were, like, trying to build. Because nothing gets built in the dark. Like, you can't sit here and try to build something nobody knows about it. Because it's like, what's the point? Your point, like, especially for content creation, is making an impact, right?
Content,
So I like that, though.
It's about building in public, right? And so what happens for me, and, like, this is what I would advise other people to do, is, like, I talked about building out your personal brand, right? Realistically, I realized that whether or not Fitz works or not is irrelevant to the fact that I'm going to be an entrepreneur for a long time, right? So whenever people hear the word CEO, I want my name to be part of that conversation.
Right.
And so by making content gives you the ability to build a brand, right? Real brand. When someone thinks CEO, if you keep putting those pennies into that brand jar, eventually, like, your name is part of that discussion. And so that is what my mindset was on making content in the beginning. It was, I know I'm going to be an entrepreneur for a while. If I need to start another business, I can't start back from zero with zero audience. I got to build a brand. And so that is what I tried to do for myself, separate than Fitz.
All right, perfect. And, you know, we're about to wrap up real quick, right? But I think one thing we want to touch on, we always ask our guests, like, why do you think people should support you, right? I think, like, it's just, like, a very powerful thing, because it's like, you know, you're gonna want to walk away. When we want you guys to have more people like eyes on you, and and everybody kind of grows together. So I think that's what this whole podcast is kind of about, anyway. So why do you think people should support you and Fitz and just everything you got going on?
That's a good question. I think that people should do what's best for themselves, right? Mm-hmm. And so I on the way here, I was thinking about the power struggle movement, right? And like what I thought about that, right? And so I could say it's a school where people could go get information, right. But mostly I think it's a mindset. I think that if you are a creator, if you are a person that puts things out, mm-hmm. then it's hard to do that alone. Mm-hmm. And so it's easier to do that if you have a lot of other people creating beside you. Mm-hmm. If you have a lot of people running in front of you and running behind you. And so at Fitz, we built a platform that connects people, that inspires people to become the best versions mm-hmm. of themselves, mm-hmm. right? And so it's a mindset of, I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to grind. I'm going to, if I'm successful using my right hand on the basketball court, I'm going to work on my left. Mm. And so what we do is we provide value. We provide information. You know what I mean? Like gatekeeping information is one of the worst things in our generation. So I try to tell everyone everything I know. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so I think like if you really just want to go and educate yourself, if you want to go create something, if you want to be a part of a group of other people that are creating their own things, mm-hmm. if you want to go create your world, mm-hmm. you want to go create the life that you want to live in, mm-hmm. then Fitz is the place for you. If not, then like it's really not. If you're not creating nothing, if you're, then Fitz isn't really right for you. But I guess that's kind of how I feel about it. Yeah, basketball is life. Basketball is so tied into everything you do for the rest of your life. You take L's, right? You could sit there after that game and be like, oh, I should have won, or the ref did this, or you know what I mean? But it's really like, how can I go get better? Yeah. Basketball teaches you how to work hard. It teaches you how to be consistent. It teaches you how to be self-aware. You know what I mean? So I think basketball you can use throughout the rest of your life. That's why, as much as I'm retired now, I don't take back a single second of that.
Yeah, for sure. And so yeah, we're about to cut it real quick, but I want to say thank you like a lot for coming. Yeah. Y'all don't know the amount of work. Like we were trying to plan this for a while. Yeah. Like a while. Yeah. And so we finally got it. So I appreciate you for like coming out, everything. I'm getting this done. And yeah. So I want y'all go follow what you got going on at Fitz. We're gonna link his Instagram and everything everywhere.
Right here. Ty gonna edit it right here.
Right up here. Go follow us, Time Millionaire Podcast on all platforms. And yeah.
Time Millionaire, we're out.
Shout out Time Millionaire.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you. All right.
Appreciate you.
Nice.